again, the goblins cry. Come buy orchard fruits, come buy, come buy. Apples, quinces, melons, and berries. Lush, ripe fruits that make you wary. Come buy, they whisper in sweet disguise, with their tempting tongues and cunning lies. Laura, oh, oh, Laura bowed to hear their call. Lizzie hid in fear, her blushes small. Lie close, said Laura, pricking up her head. We must not look at goblin men. Come by, they hobbled down the glen, their voices rising again and again. Oh, cried Lizzie, Laura, don't peep. But Laura couldn't help but creep. One goblin had a cat's face, another whisked a tail, one tramped slow like a snail. Their eyes sly like the darkest night, their voices cooing full of spite. Come by, they whispered low, their eyes gleamed with the devil's glow. Lizzie stood strong though they hissed and cried, she knew their fruits were poisoned inside. Goblin men with deceitful song tempt the weak who don't belong. Whisper sweet with sugar lies, come by, their evil cries. Laura bowed to hear their call. Lizzie hid in fear, her blushes small. Lie close, said Laura, pricking up her head. We must not look at goblin men. Come by, they hobbled down the glen, their voices rising again and again. Oh, cried Lizzie, Laura, don't peep. But Laura couldn't help but creep. One goblin had a cat's face, another whisked a tail, one tramped slow like a snail. Their eyes sly like the darkest night, their voices cooing full of spite. Come by, they whispered low, their eyes gleamed with the devil's glow. Lizzie stood strong though they hissed and cried, she knew their fruits were poisoned inside. Goblin men with deceitful song tempt the weak who don't belong. Whisper sweet with sugar lies, come by, their evil cries. They laughed when they saw her near, Lizzie standing with no fear. Stretched their dishes, plates so wide, but Lizzie strong would not abide. Lizzie's courage broke their spell, saved Laura from that living hell. The goblins vanished with the night, leaving them in morning's light.
Morning and evening the goblins cry, come by, orchard fruits, come by, come by. Apples, quinces, melons, and berries, lush white fruits that make you wary. Come by, they whisper in sweet disguise, with their tempting tongues and cunning lies. Laura bowed to hear their call, Lizzie hid in fear, her blushes small. Lie close, said Laura, pricking up her head. We must not look at goblin men. Come by, they hobbled down the glen, their voices rising again and again. Oh, cried Lizzie, Laura, don't peep. But Laura couldn't help but creep. One goblin had a cat's face, another whisked a tail, one tramped slow like a snail. Their eyes sly like the darkest night, their voices cooing full of spite. Come by, they whispered low, their eyes gleamed with the devil's glow. Lizzie stood strong though they hissed and cried, she knew their fruits were poisoned inside. Goblin men with deceitful song tempt the weak who don't belong. Whisper sweet with sugar lies, come by, their evil cries. Laura stretched her neck like a swan to see the goblins come upon. They offered fruits, a feast so rare. Laura longed but had no fare. They said bye with a golden curl, and she clipped her hair with a tearful whirl. She sucked the fruit, her lips turned sore, till she couldn't taste anymore. Lizzie met her at the gate, warning true. Remember, gee, what they did to you. Laura craved the fruit like a fire, but only found deceitful desire. Lizzie saw her sister near death's door, and braved the goblin's trick once more. Come by, they whispered low. Their eyes gleamed with the devil's glow. Lizzie stood strong though they hissed and cried. She knew their fruits were poisoned inside. Goblin men with deceitful song tempt the weak who don't belong. Whisper sweet with sugar lies. Come by, their evil cries. They laughed when they saw her near. Lizzie, standing with no fear, stretched their dishes, plates so wide. But Lizzie, strong, would not abide. Lizzie's courage broke their spell, saved Laura from that living hell. The goblins vanished with the night, leaving them in morning's light.
Morning and evening the goblins cry. Come by our orchard fruits, come by, come by. Apples, quinces, melons, and berries, lush ripe fruits that make you wary. Come by, they whisper in sweet disguise, with their tempting tongues and cunning lies. You're about to hear their call. Lizzie hid in fear, her blushes small lie close. Said Laura, pricking up her head, we must not look at goblin men. Come by, they hobble down the glen, their voices rising again and again. Oh, cried Lizzie, Laura, don't peep, but Laura couldn't help but creep. One goblin had a cat's face, another whisked a tail, one tramped slow like a snail. Their eyes sly like the darkest night, their voices cooing full of spite. Come by, they whispered low, their eyes gleamed with a devil's glow. Lizzie stood strong though they hissed and cried, she knew their fruits were poisoned inside. Goblin men with deceitful song tempt the weak who don't belong. Whisper sweet with sugar lies. Come by, their evil cries. Laura about to hear their call. Lizzie hid in fear, her blushes small lie close. Said Laura, pricking up her head, we must not look at goblin men. Come by, they hobble down the glen, their voices rising again and again. Oh, cried Lizzie, Laura, don't peep, but Laura couldn't help but creep. One goblin had a cat's face, another whisked a tail, one tramped slow like a snail. Their eyes sly like the darkest night, their voices cooing full of spite. Come by, they whispered low, their eyes gleamed with the devil's glow. Lizzie stood strong though they hissed and cried, she knew their fruits were poisoned inside. Goblin men with deceitful song tempt the weak who don't belong. Whisper sweet with sugar lies. Come by, their evil cries. Day by day Laura waited in vain, no goblin cry, only silent pain. Her hair turned gray, her heart grew thin, dwindling like a light gone dim. Lizzie saw her sister near death's door, and braved the goblin's trick once more. Come by, they whispered low, their eyes gleamed with a devil's glow. Lizzie stood strong though they hissed and cried, she knew their fruits were poisoned inside. Goblin men with deceitful song tempt the weak who don't belong. Whisper sweet with sugar lies. Come by, their evil cries. They laughed when they saw her near. Lizzie, standing with no fear, stretched their dishes, laid so wide, but Lizzie's strong would not abide. Lizzie's courage broke their spell, saved Laura from that living hell. The goblins vanished with the night, leaving them in morning's light.
Morning and evening the goblins cry, come by our orchard fruits, come by, come by. Apples, quinces, melons and berries, lush ripe fruits that make you wary, come by. They whisper in sweet disguise with their tempting tongues and cunning lies. Laura bowed to hear their call. Lizzie hid in fear, her blush is small. Lie close, said Laura, pricking up her head. We must not look at goblin men. Come by, they hobbled down the glen, their voices rising again and again. Oh, cried Lizzie, Laura, don't peep. But Laura couldn't help but creep. One goblin had a cat's face, another whisked a tail, one tramp slow like a snail. Their eyes sly like the darkest night, their voices cooing full of spite. Come by, they whispered low, their eyes gleamed with a devil's glow. Lizzie stood strong though they hissed and cried, she knew their fruits were poisoned inside. Goblin men with deceitful song tempt the weak who don't belong. Whisper sweet with sugar lies, come by, their evil cries. Laura stretched her neck like a swan to see the goblins come upon. They offered fruits, a feast so rare. Laura longed but had no fare. They said bye with a golden curl, and she clipped her hair with a tearful whirl. Turned sore till she couldn't taste anymore. Lizzie met her at the gate, warning true, remember, Jeannie, what they did to you. Laura craved the fruit like a fire, but only found deceitful desire. Day by day, Laura waited in vain. No goblin cry, only silent pain. Her hair turned gray, her heart grew thin, dwindling like a light gone dim. Lizzie saw her sister near death's door and braved the goblin's trick once more. Come by, they whispered low, then their eyes gleamed with a devil's glow. Lizzie stood strong though they hissed and cried, she knew their fruits were poisoned inside. Goblin men with deceitful song tempt the weak who don't belong. Whisper sweet with sugar lies, come by, their evil cries. They laughed when they saw her near, Lizzie standing with no fear. Stretched their dishes plates so wide, but Lizzie strong would not abide. Lizzie's courage broke their spell, saved Laura from that living hell. The goblins vanished with the night, leaving them in morning's light.
All the night and evening, the goblins cry, come by our orchard fruits, come by. Apples, quinces, melons, and berries, lush ripe fruits that make you wary. Come by, they whisper in sweet disguise, with the tempting tongues and cunning lies. Laura bowed to hear their call. Lizzie hid in fear, her blush is small. Lie close, said Laura, pricking up her head. We must not look at goblin men. Come by, they hobbled down the glen, their voices rising again and again. Oh, cried Lizzie, Laura, don't peep. But Laura couldn't help but creep. One goblin had a cat's face, another whisked a tail, one tramped slow like a snail. Their eyes sly like the darkest night, their voices cooing full of spite. Come by, they whispered low, their eyes gleamed with the devil's glow. Lizzie stood strong though they hissed and cried, she knew their fruits were poisoned inside. Goblin men with deceitful song tempt the weak who don't belong. Whisper sweet with sugar lies, come by, their evil cries. Come by with a golden curl, and she clipped her hair with a tearful whirl. She sucked the fruit, her lips turned sore, till she couldn't taste anymore. Lizzie met her at the gate, warning true, remember, Jeannie, what they did to you. Laura craved the fruit like a fire, but only found deceitful desire. Day by day, Laura waited in vain. No goblin cry, only silent pain. Her hair turned gray, her heart grew thin, dwindling like a light gone dim. Lizzie saw her sister near death's door, brave the goblin's trick once more. Come by, they whispered low, their eyes gleamed with the devil's glow. Lizzie stood strong though they hissed and cried, she knew their fruits were poisoned inside. Goblin men with deceitful song tempt the weak who don't belong. Whisper sweet with sugar lies, come by, their evil cries. They laughed when they saw her near, Lizzie standing with no fear. Stretched their dishes, plates so wide, but Lizzie strong would not abide. Lizzie's courage broke their spell, saved Laura from that living hell. The goblins vanished with the night, leaving them in morning's light.
Come by our orchard fruits, come by. Apples, quinces, melons, and berries, lush-ripe fruits that make you weary. Come by, they whisper in sweet disguise, with their tempting tongues and cunning lies. Laura bowed to hear their call, Lizzie hid in fear, her blushes small. Lie close, said Laura, pricking up her head, we must not look at goblin men. Come by, they hobbled down the glen, their voices rising again and again. Oh, cried Lizzie, Laura, don't peep. But Laura couldn't help but creep. One goblin had a cat's face, another whisked a tail, one tramped slow like a snail. Their eyes sly like the darkest night, their voices cooing full of spite. Come by, they whispered low, their eyes gleamed with the devil's glow. Lizzie stood strong though they hissed and cried, she knew their fruits were poisoned inside. Goblin men with deceitful song tempt the weak who don't belong. Whisper sweet with sugar lies, come by, their evil cries. Come by, they hobbled down the glen, their voices rising again and again and again. She sucked the fruit, her lips turned sore, till she couldn't taste anymore. Lizzie met her at the gate, warning true, remember, Jeannie, what they did to you. Laura craved the fruit like a fire, but only found deceitful desire. In vain, no goblin cry, only silent pain. Her hair turned gray, her heart grew thin, dwindling like a light gone dim. Lizzie saw her sister near death's door, and braved the goblin's trick once more. Come by, they whispered low, their eyes gleamed with the devil's glow. Lizzie stood strong though they hissed and cried, she knew their fruits were poisoned inside. deceitful song, tempt the weak who don't belong. Whisper sweet with sugar lies, come by, their evil cries. They laughed when they saw her near, Lizzie standing with no fear. Stretched their dishes plates so wide, but Lizzie strong would not abide. Lizzie's courage broke their spell, saved Laura from that living hell. The goblins vanished with the night, leaving them in morning light. Morning and evening the goblins cry, come by our orchard fruits, come by, come by. Apples, quinces, melons and berries, lush ripe fruits that make you wary. Come by, they whisper in sweet disguise, with their tempting tongues and cunning lies. Laura bowed to hear their call, Lizzie hid in fear, her blushes small. Lie close, said Laura, pricking up her head, we must not look at goblin men. Come by, they hobbled down the glen, their voices rising again and again. Oh, cried Lizzie, Laura, don't peep. But Laura couldn't help but creep. One goblin had cat's face, another whisked a tail, one tramped slow like a snail. Their eyes lie like the darkest night, their voices cooing full of spite. Come by, they whispered low, their eyes gleamed with a devil's glow. Lizzie stood strong though they hissed and cried, she knew their fruits were poisoned inside. Goblin men with deceitful song, tempt the weak who don't belong. Whisper sweet with sugar lies, come by, their evil cries. Laura stretched her neck like a swan to see the goblins come upon. They offered fruits, a feast so rare, Laura longed but had no fare. They said bye with the golden curls, and she clipped her hair with a tearful whirl. She sucked the fruit, her lips turned sore, till she couldn't taste anymore. Liz met her at the gate, warning true, remember, Jeannie, what they did to you. Laura craved the fruit like a fire, but only found deceitful desire. Lizzie saw her sister near death's door, and braved the goblin's trick once more. Come by, they whispered low, their eyes gleamed with the devil's glow. Lizzie stood strong though they hissed and cried, she knew their fruits were poisoned inside. Goblin men with deceitful song, tempt the weak who don't belong. Whisper sweet with sugar lies, come by, their evil cries. They laughed when they saw her near, Lizzie standing with no fear. Stretched their dishes plates so wide, but Lizzie strong would not abide. Lizzie's courage broke their spell, saved Laura from that living hell. The goblins vanished with the night, leaving them in morning's light. Morning and evening the goblins cry, come by, orchard fruits, come by, come by. Apples, quinces, melons and berries, lush ripe fruits that make you wary. Come by, they whisper in sweet disguise, with the tempting tongues and cunning lies. Laura bowed to hear their call. Lizzie hid in fear, her blush is small. Like close, said Laura, pricking up her head. We must not look at goblin men. Come by, they hobble down the glen. Their voices rising again and again, and again and again. Oh, cried Lizzie, Laura, don't peep. But Laura couldn't help but creep. One goblin had a cat's face, another was a tail. One tramped so like a snail. Their eyes fly like the darkest night. Their voices cooing full of spite. Come by, they whispered low. Their eyes gleamed with a devil's glow. Lizzie stood strong though they hissed and cried. She knew their fruits were poisoned inside. Long about to hear their call. Lizzie hid in fear, her blush is small. Like close, said Laura, pricking up her head. We must not look at goblin men. Come by, they hobble down the glen. Their voices rising again and again, and again and again. Oh, cried Lizzie, Laura, don't peep. But Laura couldn't help but creep. One goblin had a cat's face, another was a tail. One tramped so like a snail. Their eyes fly like the darkest night. Their voices cooing full of spite. Come by, they whispered low. Their eyes gleamed with the devil's glow. Lizzie stood strong though they hissed and cried. She knew their fruits were poisoned inside. Goblin men with deceitful song tempt the weak who don't belong. Whisper sweet with sugar lies. Come by, their evil cries. Laura stretched her neck like a swan to see the goblins come upon. They offered fruits, a feast so rare. Laura longed but had no fare. They said bye with a golden curl. She clipped her hair with a tearful whirl. She sucked the fruit, her lips turned sore, till she couldn't taste anymore. Lizzie met her at the gate, wanting true. Remember, Jeannie, what they did to you? Laura craved the fruit like a fire, but only found deceitful desire. Day by day, Laura waited in vain. No goblin cry, only silent pain. Her hair turned gray, her heart grew thin, dwindling like a light gone dim. Lizzie saw her sister near death's door and braved the goblin's trick once more. Come by, they whispered low. Their eyes gleamed with the devil's glow. Lizzie stood strong though they hissed and cried. She knew their fruits were poisoned inside. Goblin men with deceitful song tempt the weak who don't belong. Whisper sweet with sugar lies. Come by, their evil cries. They laughed when they saw her near. Lizzie standing with no fear, stretched their dishes plates so wide, but Lizzie strong would not abide. Lizzie's courage broke their spell, saved Laura from the living hell. The goblins vanished with the night, leaving them in morning's light. Morning and evening the goblins cry. Come by our orchard fruits, come by, come by. Apples, quinces, melons and berries, lush ripe fruits that make you wary. Come by, they whisper in sweet disguise, with their tempting tongues and cunning lies. Laura bowed to hear their call. Lizzie hid in fear, her blush is small. Like close, said Laura, pricking up her head. We must not look at goblin men. Come by, they hobble down the glen, their voices rising again and again. Oh, cried Lizzie, Laura, don't peep. But Laura couldn't help but creep. One goblin had a cat's face, another was a tail. One tramped so like a snail. Their eyes sly like the darkest night, their voices cooing full of spite. Come by, they whispered low. Their eyes gleamed with the devil's glow. Lizzie stood strong though they hissed and cried. She knew their fruits were poisoned inside. Goblin men with deceitful song tempt the weak who don't belong. Genie, what they did to you. Laura craved the fruit like a fire, but only found deceitful desire. Lizzie saw her sister near death's door and braved the goblin's trick once more. Come by, they whispered low. Their eyes gleamed with the devil's glow. Lizzie stood strong, although they hissed and cried. She knew their fruits were poisoned inside. Goblin men with deceitful song tempt the weak who don't belong. Whisper sweet with sugar lies. Come by, their evil cries. They laughed when they saw her near, Lizzie standing with no fear. Stretched their dishes plates so wide, but Lizzie strong would not abide. Lizzie's courage broke their spell, saved Laura from that living hell. The goblins vanished with the night, leaving them in mourning.